I can go?
Yep.
Okay, we're on?
We're on.
We're live.
And we already have so many people.
Look at all these people. All these people came to see what we're going to do today. I'm so glad you came. I've been preparing for this for a while, trying to think, like, what would be, historical and would teach us something at the same time, would be imaginative and make something we could actually make, and also would be, practical. And do I have parts? Can I get parts? Do you guys have parts? That kind of thing. So, so we're going to start today. This is our first class for the Regency / Jane Austen period style jewelry class. There's going to be 3 today. We're going to discuss collet set jewelry, which is what you're looking at right here. This is collet set jewelry, and it was all the rage in Georgian days, which of course the end of the Georgian period is the Regency period. It ended up in the Regency period. Georgian period started, I can't remember if it was either 1714 or 1717, went all the way to 1837 when Queen Victoria took the throne. But about the last 30 years or so of the Georgian period, styles changed a lot. It was just after the French Revolution, and styles were influenced a little bit by Empress Josephine. Also, people's mindset was a little bit different. So that's when you got all those empire waist dresses and soft flowing lines. Only the older ladies wore the corsets anymore. So there was a period of time there before Queen Victoria stepped up to the throne where fashion was comfortable. It was very Grecian Roman looking, Romanesque, Grecian type stuff. So the jewelry, had a little different look, and it was easing up a little bit because it was so formal in the earlier Georgian periods. Anyway, so the collet set necklace still gave you the look of opulence. It was extremely wearable by people of any age, and it was just everywhere. And for us today, as jewelry makers, it's not hard to make. The only thing I can say about it is that it can run you a little money if you get into glass stones the whole way around. Because they did, if you want to do one that's legitimately like theirs, just entirely like theirs, which you don't have to. This is all about influence and inspiration. But if you wanted to make one that was like theirs, the stones go all the way around the neck like a collar. They don't end like where your hair starts and then you put a chain and no one sees that, which I'm all for doing that because I'm not going to see it anyway. But
they wore their hair up.
Well, they did. So if you yes, that's a very good point, Lauren. They wore their hair up, so it had to show. For us, not so much. There'll be a collar there.
Let me know, you guys, too, how the sound is. I just want to make sure, since, this is a class and everything, I want to make sure that the sound level is good.
Yeah. Let's know if you can't hear me or whatever's going on. I feel myself going hoarse already. I don't know what's up with this.
I have the mic pretty close to her, but just in case, let me know.
So I'm going to show you in this book a few things, to kind of talk about the period a little bit, and then I'm going to show you things I made for the class, and then we're going to finish one together. Okay, so here I just marked a few things. And of course, this book, there aren't a lot of books on Georgian jewelry out there. This is a good one. Ginny Remington Dawes is a very good, she's a big collector, and she's written a lot of books about antiques. She does a good job. So anyway, I'm going to open this up and hope I don't thunk on this. Anyway, so you can see in here first it starts up with a lot of garnet jewelry, but I have a lot of marks because we can't go through this whole book, and who wants to anyway?
Okay, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
But I thought this might be interesting if we could get it on here.
Which one?
This picture.
Oh, the chain one?
Yeah, I don't know if we can.
Okay. Let me see what I can do.
Okay. There, you got it. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Okay, just hold it. Isn't this interesting? It's Rollo chain. It's textured Rollo chain like we like to use. But one of the ways you can tell this is Georgian jewelry, and I was watching a program this morning about this, so I thought it was interesting to find a picture. There's kind of like a box clasp here. Sometimes it's just a tube, and then there's your little push-in. When you see that, and you can tell the metal's old, everything about it is old, and you see that, chances are really great that it's probably Georgian period or early Regency. It may not be possible to really date it if you don't know who owned it or had some connecting information entirely, but it is in that period, definitely. Okay, another thing I wanted to tell you about was I pronounced a word wrong last week, and I wanted to correct it. Anyway, well, this is kind of sort of like it. This is a pendant, okay? They made a lot of necklaces and earrings in a style. We still like to do it. Like normally it would be like a third dangle here, or maybe there'd be 5. Usually it's 3 though. And there's a brooch on the back, so you could wear it that way. There's a loop, so it could be a necklace. So they did that back then too, which is interesting. But I called it a girondola, which I thought that was the name of it. It's not. It's a girandole. Girandole. Girandole is how you say it. So if you say it that way, you won't have to sound stupid like I did last time. I hate mispronouncing things. Oh, and the collet style necklace that we're going to talk about, Jennifer corrected me and said, because I don't know French words, so, but she says it's Riviere, like Riviera, but you don't put the on the end, Riviere. That's what it is called in French, if you want to know that. I just call it a collet-set necklace. But anyway, let me go to my next one where I made, no, here it is. This one, we've talked about this in classes that I've had before for the responsible repurposing when we got to this period, Georgian style jewelry. And maybe some of you might even remember it. Well, Sheree, I don't have any of those, so I'm going to have to do without it right now. That sounds good, though.
She has a bottle of water.
I do. You know what? I got these you know what? You're holding that, though, so you can do it. I've got some lozenges over here. Okay, I'll tell you what it is. See that little cupboard door up there at the top? Betty sent me these thieves lozenges that are really good. That are for not sore throats, but I'm just hoarse all the time. She find them? Yeah, she's bringing me one. Okay, this will fix me up. This is called Berlin Ironwork. Isn't it cool? Every time I see it, I'm like, ooh, you know, matte black, matte black. What could we do to make something look like this? And I'm looking at other parts. The parts for this are made of pure unobtainium. That's what George says. It's made of unobtainium. That means you can't get it. They're German. They're from around 1830, according to this picture. They were black with a slight brown cast to it. Sometimes, you know, you have black like that. It'll have a slight brown cast. Sometimes it'll have a slight blue, you know, cast. Anyway, but I thought, oh man, you know. So I guess, you know, if somebody was inventive, Dara, she's so inventive. They could figure out something sort of, kind of. And I was thinking, you know, I would be so excited about making something like this that if I looked and I saw that I didn't have the right parts in matte black, which is, I know I don't. If I had something I could make work in another color, so long as it wasn't silver, I'd probably be willing to scrub it down and make it kind of
antique-y.
No, I would scrub it down so it would take paint. You know, like
okay, yeah.
I told you guys before, you know, if you scrub something down, it gives it tooth. And then if you paint it, the paint stays better. I would scrub it down and paint it matte, just so I'd have it, you know. But I have to look and see what I got. So anyways. Hey, Gloria. All right, guys. Now, I was going to tell you this, too, and I forgot. Since we have a lot of ground to cover, and I like to keep this to, you know, around an hour so you don't all fall asleep, I will go back at the end of the video. And I will try and catch your comments if I don't see them. If I see them out of the corner of my eye and I think I need to talk about it now, I'll stop and do it. But I'd rather just kind of stay with it so I don't lose my train of thought. I actually do have some nice notes, saved notes. But I want to keep on track. So I'll come back at the end and answer questions unless I see something on the corner of my eye that I think needs to be addressed, like now.
Sarah says that she can already see like many parts from you that could be adapted.
Well,
for
you
that.
have more imagination than me these days, Dara. You know what? I have lots of imagination. You guys know that. But I'm just a little burned out lately. So that's why I'm glad for you, because you helped me. All right, so let's go to the next mark. See, I've got this thing in my mouth now. All right, so I showed, I don't think you can see it. I showed a necklace like this in a picture. It's just a long chain. And then they put it around their neck a couple times. I did that a lot. There's another Rolo. But I thought this was interesting because it's got the cameos with all the festoon swags. And I wanted to show you real quick that you can do that with a lace edge bezel. You guys ever play with lace edge bezels much? They've got the little loops all around the sides. I use them a lot in my jewelry today. They work great for the collet-set look. You can just pull these little loops out wherever you want. So if you want to make something like this, you just pull the loop out about here and loop out about here and one in the middle and one here, and you could just go to town. Now, I wouldn't use this one because it's a 25 by 18. I think you need something a little bigger. That's my theory. We do have them 40 by 30. And I think I'm going to stick my neck out and get hold of my guy tomorrow and see if he's got more in the drawer already done and see if he'll send them to me. I did not get these plated this time because it takes more time. But so all I've got are the raw ones. But, you know, we know how to paint stuff. We're not strangers to that. So just degrease them, like I've always told you. Rough them up a little bit because they are flat on the back, so you might want to. And just paint them.
Yeah. Well, the raw has that gold look, and the gold was the predominant finish.
It does. In fact, I was watching a program on YouTube yesterday about Georgian jewelry, and it was saying how that a lot of Georgian jewelry, if it was gold, it was like around 14 karat, and they were showing how similar in color this raw brass is to 14 karat gold. I mean, they held it up right directly next to it, and you could just hardly tell.
Fake them out.
And that makes sense because in and about this time, maybe even a little later into the Victorian period, there was this fella that came up with a type of fool's gold, which is brass, but it was a certain alloy, and it never has been able, no one's ever been able to tell exactly what it was. Similar to this, but it had some kind of extra little thing in the alloy that made it what it was. It was called pinchbeck. And if you collect old jewelry or know a lot about old jewelry, you know all about pinchbeck. So they used it kind of like they used it like strass or paste jewelry, which is like rhinestone.
The costume.
And they used it with this. And they put their real jewels away in a lockbox and never get them out.
Yeah. They made replicas.
The author of this book said she called that jewelry dead box jewelry because the paste and the pinchbeck pieces, people would wear them because if someone stole them, joke's on you, that's not real, you know. Mm-hmm. But
looked exactly like the real
They almost
one,
never wore the beautiful real ones that were handed down, so she called it dead box jewelry because it was put away somewhere and locked up and no one ever wore it. So I thought that was interesting. But anyway, the lace edge bezels are so versatile. And we'll see a little bit more about that in a minute. I wanted to show you this too. Oh, this is like my favorite piece in this whole book. I love collet-set jewelry, and I love it when it's set with cameos. I have never owned one, of course. Some of you may have had like scarab bracelets that were made like this. In the 50s, they were real hot stuff, you know. Well, these are all little tiny cameos, and they're all hand-carved. And the Georgian / Regency period, which is when the Jane Austen stuff came out, or her style for younger people, the big deal was hand-carved cameos. Usually shell. Most of these are shell. Different colors. Some of them are carved out of gemstone. But, I mean, can you imagine? And they've put right back here, it's a box clasp. So they put this over top of box clasp, so it looks continuous.
Let me see if I can zoom in on that a little bit. If I can move the camera.
Down in here, maybe.
Where's the box clasp? Oh,
It's
that
right
silver.
here,
Wait.
one.
Oh, it's that one.
Mhm.
Oh, it almost looks like the cameos.
Well, there is a cameo on top of it, mounted on top of it, but underneath is a little pushing clasp.
Sneaky.
I've done that with glue. I've done that.
That's a cool trick.
I used to make these great big pieces, huge. I guess early Georgian people would have worn them. In fact, there's like each section was highly ornamented, a lot of assemblage going on, and then the last one would also be a little tiny piece of assemblage, and I would fit a tiny domed box clasp underneath that, and it would go all the way around.
But I mean, even like the setting and everything looks exactly like all the rest. Like it doesn't look any different.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, going on. Here's another one where they festoon the edges, and that's again why the
Sorry for all the movement,
that's
guys.
okay. That's why the lace edges really come in handy, because you have so many design options, because you pull those loops out at will wherever you want them to be.
When you were showing those other ones, the first thing, I don't know, it's not Regency, but the first thing that came to my head is the cameo that we had that's cream, and then it has that brown, the little horse
Oh yeah,
pairing on it.
It's cute. But
That
the
colorization.
ones that we have that look like these, I've got sitting right here.
It's just the colorization reminded me of that other necklace.
The ones that we have are the ones that look like this.
The fairy
That
ones?
are like Regency style. I don't know if they did fairies back there. I think that's more of an Art Nouveau thing, but this is matted. And the reason they did that is they wanted to mimic Wedgwood blue. And this is basically what Wedgwood blue looked like, which was
From like the China.
it was a type of china that was very matte. Some people call it jasper ware. I'm not sure why. I would have to look that up. But to this day, if you have Wedgwood blue stuff that you've inherited or whatever, like china, it's like worth big, big money. I'll never forget when I was a house cleaner. I worked for a lady who had 12, she had service for 12 in Wedgwood blue. And I had to pick them up and like dust under them, because she had them like displayed on rails. And I was like sweating the whole time, because I'm like, oh, what if I drop this? I had to go work for a year to pay for it. And then she had the most amazing things. I don't think she even knew exactly. She'd inherited them. She had pear point puffy lamps. Those are those big blown out roses on the lamps, and those are worth tremendous money. She had Meissen figurines, M-E-I-S-S-E-N, they're porcelain. Were big money, big money. I was always like, but I love looking at them. I hate touching them. More Berlin ironwork. This might be a little easier because there's standard like type mounts in here. We have pieces like this. I can get pieces like this. In fact, I bought one. And Diane put it up the other day. It's raw brass, but I'm not getting it again. And the reason is it came in at over $2 a piece in raw brass, not plated, nothing. Where am I going to go with that? When I look at that piece, I'm like, max highest amount that I could ever charge for that is like $3. And I'm going to have almost that in it. I'm like, I was really disgusted, honestly. When I got these bezels in, I got it from this guy, and his stuff came in so high. Thank goodness I don't buy that much from him, because it is like impossible. Like that big scalloped cuff flat that I put on the site this morning, a very, very dear friend gifted me a box full of my old stuff. And what a walk down memory lane it was. She just didn't want to bother with it anymore. She wasn't going to use it. She's still making jewelry, but she just had too much. And it was so kind of her. And she said, I don't care if you sell it, but keep some for yourself, which I thoroughly intend to. There was the old Russian gold plate, and I pulled it all out. It's mine. That was the best one ever. But anyway, there were two of the big cuff flats that are scalloped out in the old Rose Ox, which is a color we don't do anymore. Not because I couldn't. It's just because it never sold very well for me. The gingerbread's doing better. I can't have gingerbread and rose ox because they're basically the same thing, only rose ox is shiny. So
Yeah, I like the rose ox.
they flew out of there.
Yep,
so
I had
fast.
them up last night, and by this morning they were already gone.
Yeah. Well, because I told the group, hey, look what's on here, and they're like, boom, gone. Right now. You know, but I'm not going to, when you see those flats come up, we have some on the website right now. When you see those come up, or if you want some, don't ignore them because I'm not buying anymore. I can't afford to. It cost me more than what I sold the Rose Ox ones for. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, who's going to buy this stuff? People, you know what? You got to sacrifice a little bit. Now, people don't want to sacrifice any profit. Oh, we can't operate that way. Well, I'm doing it. And that's all I'm going to say about it.
That looks like a piece that we have.
We do get this piece.
I was going to say, that looks
It's not cut out
pretty
that
close.
much, but yeah, we can get it. Oh, this one I wanted to show you because it's kind of sort of like, reminds me of collet-set, not really, but it is. And then it's got the little things hanging off of it every so far. You can do this with lace edge very easily. You just pull out where you want it. Stuff, see right here? This hang. You don't have to have something that has a hanging hole with a nice lace edge bezel. You can put it where you want it. So
sorry, guys. I'm trying
another
to be...
thing to keep in mind. And, you know, you can always come back to this video and look at it again, okay?
Hopefully I'm not...
Because, honestly,
too fidgety.
I don't even have one piece of Georgian jewelry. I have had it. But I saw it long ago. And so I don't have any. So I can't show you any legit pieces. I don't have any. I can't afford it. But we love to be inspired by it. So happy to have this book that Jenny Reddington Dawes wrote. So let's see, where's my next marker? Because I want to get to the projects. Okay, this is it. You go, collet-set jewelry. Comes in all kinds of shapes.
The emerald green.
Collet-set jewelry. And I looked it up. What's a collet? It's just another way to say bezel, but it's a special kind of bezel in this case. Now, I see prongs on here, so I'm not sure they're even exactly what. But these pieces...
So the collet, it doesn't have to be a particular shape. It can be any shaped bezel.
Here's what it is. And you see this piece? This is a peridot. This is lucite, vintage lucite. I have a lot of this on the website. People just haven't kind of taken to it. Maybe they will now. Stuff's great. This is like collet setting because it is a band that goes around the edge of the stone. Can you see?
So like a channel set.
Kind of. Well, it doesn't have a back. You know, it's see-through. It's just, like you could probably do this with wire. Maybe. That's a thought. But this is brass. And it's just formed around the stone. And that's what a real collet is. Here. That's what a real collet is. There's when you just have that band. But, you know, when you have a bunch of stones in a row like that and they're connected up like that,
so technically it's like, it's something that just borders the stone. It doesn't really have like a back. There's no back.
Now, these stones, they don't look like they're set azure to me. Azure is A-J-O-U-R, and it means to daylight, light to windows, something like that. It's French, but it means open back, basically. They always use that term as a jewelry term. But we can just simply say open back. We don't have to say the French word. Or open back. Now, we use a lot of open back bezels when we do resin, don't we? And then we put the pet tape on the back and open it, and now it's all clear all the way through. Really cool. Okay. This is cut steel, if you ever see any. This stuff is real special. I like it. Mostly what I found are buttons. Never found anything like this.
And again, a matching box clasp.
Reminds you of Marxite jewelry, kind of a little bit. They made a lot of belt buckles and shoe buckles out of it back in the day. Now you guys are going to like this.
Oh, that's the one that you showed us before.
Yeah, I saw the picture on Pinterest or something. this looks so Haskell to me, the color of the metal and everything. And it's all this wire stuff. And I'm like, oh man, would this be a cool thing to master and then do a class on it? I'm just trying to think how, because it looks like a lot of stuff is soldered, actually soldered to that fine wire.
I'm trying not to be too bouncy. Sorry, guys.
But anyway, it's really pretty in it. This is a headpiece.
I was gonna say that would look really pretty as like a hairpiece, like as a little tiara crown.
They wore a lot of hair stuff.
Yep.
And then these are the, brooches and stuff like that. So you can be inspired by that. I was impressed with these pieces. These are gemstone pieces. They're all set into mounts. This reminds me almost exactly of very expensive, very highly collectible brooches and jewelry that were designed by Alfred Philippe for Trifari back 30s maybe. I can't, probably was 30s. Maybe it was 50s. I'm not sure. I have to look it up. Anyway, he was like their head designer. And his stuff is hot stuff to this day. But he did this thing, you could see it in here, just, I don't know if you can. The way he set these stones, he butted them up right next to each other. And there's just a tiny little pin shown, and they called that bead set. And when they're butt up against each other, they're not really in a mount. They call it invisible set, at least in Trifari did. So I've never owned too many pieces like that, but I have had them, and I always sold them to collectors, and they sold immediately, so hard to find a lot of good stuff like that. And I got one more that reminds me of designer jewelry that's contemporary, or more contemporary, of the last, 75, 80 years, is this piece. Let me put this down. This bow. The whole way this is made, everything about it, it is so much like the Hobe sterling bows, and they came in all kinds of sizes. I still have a little one. I don't know where it is right now. It's probably in my teaching box. But Hobe, H-O-B-E, and then with the accent mark on the E. Very collectible jewelry, and they're very well known for this type look. And others. But yeah, I thought, well, that's where they got their inspiration from. I know it, right? So this is all like Georgian jewelry. And
can you show the cover of the book again?
I'll show it to you again. Now,
I
wish I could find a book on just Regency. But I think if you get familiar with this type of jewelry, and then you go in and you look on Pinterest and you look on YouTube for videos about the styles of clothing that they wore back then, you'll put it all together real quick. Because basically, Regency jewelry is like Georgian, only it's a little bit dumbed down, if you know what I mean. It's not as busy. Doesn't have as much to it. And usually the people, that wore that type of thing, if it was Regency period, they wore inherited jewels, which were still the great big Georgian ones. Or if they were a younger person, they probably just wore like something simple on a velvet cord, or a simple strand of coral beads. They wore a lot of lockets. They wore a lot of, I've written down here, a lot of lockets. Portrait cameras. I watched a really cool video this morning about how to make your own lover's eye jewelry.
Look, she's very prepared with all her notes today, guys.
Would drop a lot of mourning jewelry, hair jewelry, which Dara, the way she made hers when I looked at it, I was thinking of hair jewelry a little bit different, Dara. The ones that I was more familiar with, because I know I said, you sure, guys? I don't know. That stuff's pretty skillful. Not that she's not, but I mean, it's hard. But I was remembering the ones that Philomena, who trained me in the antiques trade way, way back, like going on 40 years ago, whenever it was. And she grew up in Europe, and she saw a lot of it. And it was like beads that were all blown out of braided hair, very finely braided hair. A lot of watch chains made out of braided hair. I mean, it was crazy.
Wait, what?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Wait,
it was
how do
very
you make a bead out of...
You had to take training to do it. It was like a thing. You'd have your loved one's hair, and you would send it to these people, and they would clean it, and they would lay it all out and braid it and make stuff for you.
So did it end up being kind of like a knot? bead? Like, because how else would it be stable?
It was like a blown out latticino bead is what it looked like, which is Venetian glass. Only it wasn't glass, it was hair. Yeah. It was amazing.
You should see my face right now, guys.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine.
It's very perplexed.
And when you hold those in your hand, you're like, who wants to sit and do this? It reminded me of like real lace, bobbin lace. If you ever seen anybody make bobbin lace. I've got a book on lace making around here sometime. I'll get it out. It had all these pins everywhere, kind of like a wig jig, you know. Only had to wrap it, this thread around this one and here, and then do all that, you know.
I just don't know how it didn't collapse. I'm very perplexed.
Well, a lot of times it didn't hold up. Hair will hold up. People find
it's very
hair
strong.
off of a mummy, you know. But,
very strong,
it is a little bit fragile too.
To keep the shape, I mean, it just.
Well, they would break, it would tear, like, and then they'd have to get it. They would have to get it fixed. No, it was just.
Wow.
We found a lot of pieces that were messed up.
Yeah, I'm thinking I might do Mourning. Mourning.
There's a lot of mourning jewelry. There's Dara did one that was the memorial urn with the weeping woman next to it, and some other things like that. We could do a little bit of research on it. There's also memento mori jewelry, which is not mourning jewelry. What it is, it means in Latin something to the effect of, not exactly, remember that you will die. Nice, huh? That's really upbuilding. But what it is it's just
live your
reality.
Life right.
Live your life right, because it's not going to last forever. Sometimes it would have a little piece of hair in it too. So she has a watch chain made of hair. Yeah, it is very fine. And love and lace is complicated, that's for sure. Very hard. Yeah, I'll stick with buying lace fabric too. Okay, so you hear this word paste a lot of times. What's paste jewelry? That's another word for rhinestone. Along the River Rhine in Germany years ago, there used to be these sparkling, I don't know, maybe there still is, sparkling little stones, and they were rock crystal is what they were. And you could just go pick them up.
So, not glass? Or is that still glass?
It's kind of like a natural glass.
Okay. Kind of like sea glass?
No, because that was glass that's been matted by rolling around in the tides.
Okay.
Yeah. No, this is natural forming rock crystals, and they're like a natural form of glass. So anyway, they would pick them up and they would grind them down real fine, and they would mix them with something else. I don't know what, but it was wet. And then they'd punch it down into molds, and then they'd facet it. It would come out fairly hard, but it was not real by any means. It was not real. And that's how the word rhinestone came to be, because these were the little crystals they picked up along the River Rhine. And then in time they found out ways to, well, you know, we're not going to go around and pick up rock crystals all day long. We're going to make our own glass and grind it down. But the thing is about that stuff, it's full of lead. So if you ever find it and you buy it, let it be for your collection. Don't wear it. And that's the sad thing about it. But it's absolutely jam-packed full of lead, because it wasn't until 1978 in this country that they restricted the use of lead in anything. And there still is lead crystal. So, you know, when you're buying crystal that you're anticipating wearing, it has to be either the low amount that's permitted for it to be safe to wear, or if it's not, then, hey, it's up to you if you're going to wear it. I wouldn't. That's the bad thing about collecting costume jewelry. Sometimes you may feel a little bit limited in being able to wear it. You're more safe like wearing like a brooch, because it's not going to touch your skin. But anything's going to touch your skin, you have to think twice about it. So, you know, and that's just the same as like people go buy big wads of old chain. Well, I buy big wads of old chain too, but I know how old it is. And it's not old enough to matter. It's not full of garbage. But the stuff like old 50s chain, early 60s chain, you have to be careful. Even the copper coat stuff that I buy once in a while, but that's steel. So that's, I don't worry about lead being in that, because there isn't. It's not in the copper coat either. You just got to know your stuff, I guess. So you got to be careful when you're using old jewelry. You're using old chain. That's what I mean. And old stones. You got to be careful.
Is there a good way to test it?
There are testers you can buy. I never needed them. You know why? I use my nose. I can smell it.
Okay.
It is acrid. It's nasty, musty, and smelly, and
The
acrid. Lead.
Oh, the lead, right.
Yeah. I'll get a box of jewelry. Somebody, when I used to have my shop, people would bring stuff in to buy it all the time. And I would open it, and I'm like, ugh. Because it was just positively acrid. Because there'd be probably a lot of pot metal jewelry down in there, which is very widely collected. And if it's a brooch, knock yourself out wearing. I don't think it'd be a big problem. But, like a bracelet or earrings, oh my goodness, no. Necklace, you sweat on that, it gets into your system. No. But yeah, I can smell it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So, that doesn't mean that's always accurate, because it could be something covering it or whatever, and I don't smell that. But normally, when you've handled enough of this stuff, you just kind of know. You just develop a sixth sense for it, But yeah, back in that time, in that day, if they weren't using fine metal, noble metals like gold, silver, and platinum, stuff like that, then they were using lead. And it's amazing. I was watching a YouTube show about lead mines, where they will go down in and they would mine lead, and they would get it out and bring it to the surface down these horrible mines, and then bring it out to the surface and smelt it down so the fumes are going everywhere. And I'm like, I'm so glad we know what we know these days anyway. So anyways, let's get into the project, because we're never going to get into it. Our time's going to be up, and then we'll just be sitting here. So I'm going to show you how I did my collet set pieces. And I'll show you the two that I have finished. This was the first one I made. And it's very lightweight because these stones are lucite. They're vintage lucite. They are not glass. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, always, if you want it to hang right with collet jewelry, you need to have an odd number. It's that Fibonacci number thing, where you don't have 2, 4, 6, 8. You have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 kind. And that way you always have the middle piece. You always have your middle, see? Got 4 up each side and 1 in the middle. And that combination usually makes things hang better or fit better. So anyway, so I got 9 of these, and the wonderful thing about these is they are very, very inexpensive. I think they're, depending what they are, they're anywhere from 50 cents to 95 cents a piece, which is enough, if you use a lot of them. But these are true collet settings with a band around the edge.
And then we have nice ones too that are just the top hanging hole, and it's basically the same shape, and they're a little bit smaller. They make perfect earrings.
We have a lot of those. We have a lot of them.
And they have, it's the raw, so it looks like it's gold.
Yeah. So you can look. I think I posted a link on the group, but I'll post one on this video too later, where you can find them. They're in the plastic beads and cabs. You'll find them, but you have to scroll through there toward the end of that category.
Or you could probably just up in the search box put in lucite.
Yes.
And they would come up as well.
Or 18 by 13 stones, because the ones I use are all 18 by 13. Now these are cushion cut. They're not cut anything. They're molded. But cushion emerald cut stones. Cushion octagons. That's what I want. But yeah, they're all set. All you got to do is hook them up. So the basic thing that you have to do is here. Let me take 2 and show you. You have to make sure of one thing. Where's my little? Here they are. You have to make sure of one thing, is that your holes are open enough to accept the jump. Now these jumps are 18 millimeter because they're the ones I had. Oh, and by the way, anybody that's looking for brass jumps, I did get some in. They won't be ready for a while because we just had a bunch of stuff come in, so it's going to take a while. But yeah, that's what they look like.
But that's the clear one, so you can make matching earrings. But we have several different colors.
They still make stuff like that.
And we have a bunch. So, and we have different
Mine
colors.
are older, but they still
Yeah.
make stuff like this. So I just opened my jump. I've got 6mm, and I just want. And then here's another thing. You need to understand that there's like a point on the back, so like a very soft point, like fire polish point would be. And then there's a table on the top, which means it's that flat part. You want the table to the top. So I'm holding this. I've got the table right under my finger, and now I'm going to apply the jump, and then I've got to make sure that when I go to put this one on that I have the table facing up too, because it's annoying. I've done this. You get a whole row of them going, and some are going one way and some are going the other. And you don't want that. You end up taking it all apart to get it to go the way you want. So now I got to get this closed. These are tough little boogers. And I try to get them really flush. That's pretty good. I might have to do. But see, that's all. And you just have to connect them. So like, if you want to go clear around your neck, you probably need about 15 of them.
And what length would that probably be?
Well, I'll tell you.
If you did about 15 of them.
You might need 17. It's going to be 16 inches maybe till you get the lobster on. You want a little bit longer, 18, and use 2 more.
Because they really are just supposed to kind of like collar around your
neck.
neck.
Yeah, and the best way is these, okay. Now, here's my thing. Let me get my pointer. I like to see things like this. If I'm going to make them hang around my neck, like for a bracelet, no biggie, it's fine. That's pretty as a bracelet. But when this is going around your neck, you can't make it real long, because if you do, it will rock toward the front and it won't hang right, and you will not like it. You need to have it close up around your neck. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't say necessarily choker, but not a whole lot longer than that.
It's supposed to be like a collar. That's
why
they call it, like a collar.
They call it collar.
Well, collet,
but still,
but
it is.
Style,
it's like a collar,
it's
so,
a collar.
Yeah. So, you'd probably need about 17 if you wanted to make it go all the way around. I didn't do any of mine that way, like you can see. I used this labradorite chain in the back. Because I could. I didn't care. I didn't care if it went all around. I have long hair. You're not going to see it. And
so
then I also made it hook at the side, which normally for a necklace like this, I wouldn't do that because that's kind of really informal. But I don't care because I want to be able to hook it, so that's where I put it. But normally, it would be back here. Anyway, so I did that. Okay, so that's how they go. Now, here's the more fancy one that I made. But it was still the same principles. Making sure that the tables were facing upward when I, connected them. There we go.
And again, that's the side that has a little bit of
the flat piece in the middle. That's called a table. That big flat facet right here.
Okay.
That's called the table. So anyway, so I have oval ones on this one. We have lots of ovals. We have lots of the cushion octagons. These were the colors I thought would go best from what I had. I could have used all one color, but I didn't want to run any of them down lower in case some of you guys would want them and you would need a bunch to do your project. There's still lots of them there. I just didn't want to run them down at all. And they're not. So anyway, I did, let's see, how many is around the neck? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 16 around the neck on this one because this goes all the way around. But I've got some play right here and here, and I have an extender on it. So for me, this will end up being like 18 inches around that, and that's going to be real comfortable for me. But I wouldn't want this real long because when you make it real long, you don't see how pretty it is. You want that up by your face, and this is very luminous so it reflects light. So I used 2 of the little connectors that 1928 made for me a while back. I don't know if I have any left. But if not, you can find little connectors that will work for this. And it will be fine. So, anyway. And then I put a big luminous 40 by 30 cab in here. Okay. All right. So let's stay with this as much as possible, and I'll come back and answer you later. Yeah, we have everything on the site except for this chain. I ran out of it. So if you want to make a necklace like that, and also if you wanted to make this hang differently, you could pull things out down here. You could pull down out loops here at the bottom to let things hang. I mean, you could pull out loops here and here and then run chains like up to here and make festoon. You could pull out a couple right here. And hang down, you know, and then hang another little pendant there. And that would be very, very pretty. I love that look. So, I mean, you just go to your imagination is all you do. Okay? So, alrighty. So now we're going to make a piece together, or at least finish it. So let's stay to the subject. I'm going to do my best. You know me, I love to get going off on an exit stage left. So I'm going to try really hard.
I'll pull her back with a shepherd's hook.
Yeah. So anyway, I had this one laid out. It's not laid out anymore, but and then I had this here too. Just grab it and bring it over. And I had some of these Collet beads to finish. I won't be able to finish this all, but I'm going to bring everything over just to show you the options, what they are and all that. Because I hope you can hear me because I'm not facing my mic. Okay, I need to do a better job of that. Picking them up. Okay, so
they thought the colors were really pretty on that last one,
yeah.
by the way.
Oh, thank you.
They were bright and pretty.
Yeah, they're jewel tones.
Yes.
Right? Like rubies and sapphires and peridots. Yeah, I like lucite. It's very luminous. Okay, so here's my base that I made. And I'm going to show you how I did these because I didn't just hook them like those collet-set ones. There's a little bit difference to it. Okay, so let me get one out so I can show you.
So is this the same amount, same length as the last one that you just showed?
Now, honestly, well, it depends on how you want it to be. If you want to go with stones up all the way around the neck, which of course makes it cost more, but if you're making it for yourself or a commission job or people are going to pay you enough or whatever, doesn't matter. But if you're making it for resale, even if you are using lucite, you might want to think, well, I'll only go so far up. So it's up to you because it's your project. You can put the stones where you want them. You can put the beads where you want them. All that. You'll say, well, Brenda, why didn't you put these all butted up next to each other? Why wouldn't you put like one of these pretty beads? Well, I could, but then it wouldn't be collet style anymore. That's why I didn't do it. So I wanted to show you how this works. Then if you want to do it, have at it. If not, change it up, do whatever you want. Be influenced by it. It's like I told you. But this would be probably the way they would put a necklace. They wouldn't use these plastic parts that I have, of course, but this probably the way they put it together.
Now that you have it laid out like that, I can tell it's shorter than the other one.
Yes. Well, yeah, it's not done.
It's very pretty, though.
I'll put an extender on the back either with these rose quartz beads or I've got this chain here that I could use. It's kind of like bead and link. Could use. And I think I will so that it doesn't cost any more, but...
camera down just a
Just see. I just want to show you a little trick about this. Oh, I'm glad. Thank you, Melissa. You're a sweetheart. Okay, I just want to show you something about this. And you can see it on here, too. Let me get my little pointy. Okay. I didn't just, take the middle one and pull it out and just go across straight like these are, it's just the middle one. It's all in the middle, so it just has to hang right from there. Technically, for this to hang right, this little hole should be up here at the shoulders. When you're making a necklace, not when you're making a bracelet, but if you're making a necklace, it should be at the shoulders, not in the middle, because when it's in the middle, it'll sometimes rock and you might not like it. But this is the way they were made, so that's why I say don't make them too long, then you'll be okay. They come with stone set. These ones, yeah. These ones do. But I don't know if you like them, Deborah, because they're lucite. They're not glass. So if you wanted to get ones that were glass, then you probably have to put them in, other mounts, because I don't think they make them like this. But anyway, so I've got that. But the reason why this is hanging nice, is going nice around the neck, is because I didn't just go out the side like here. I went up toward what would be the shoulders, and I went and I looked, and I counted how many over. 5 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 6th one I pull out. And this is how you do it. It's so easy. Take your flat nose and just pull it carefully, because you don't want to, break it. You probably won't. Okay, that's good enough. It doesn't have to be way, way out, but you can see it's got a little ear there, so I'll go back over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this is the 6th one over here, so I'll pull it out. And another funny little thing, I lost my count now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, here's 6. About these lace edges, is they are not an even amount of loops around the edge. So you may have to look, see, that one's not supposed to be out. You may have to look around and see, okay, where is this going to fall the best? And one side falls better than the other, and I regret to tell you that I did not check for that, but I think we're okay. But anyhow, so I would just put my stone in there and have 2 little ears up. So let me just put one in, you can see. And I would just glue that in there, as easy as pie. Now when you get the deeper mounts, I don't think I have any back here because I ain't using any. It gets a little more tricky, especially if there's if it's not flat back. But flat backs are super easy to work with. But anyway, you can see I've got my little hanging hole here and one here. And so now, if I wanted to make a very demure piece of jewelry, what I could do is I got my loops, and then I could pull some out here, down here, and make little dangles.
You do those 3. Remember we were talking the other day how they always seem to have 3.
Girandole.
Gloria liked that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because 3 is part of the Fibonacci thing. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13.
Oh, primes?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if you call them primes or not. I just know it's
I think those are prime numbers.
I have no idea.
Well,
all I know is that they're in the Fibonacci theory, when you're making jewelry or whatever it is, well, it's not even that. It comes in nature as well. You go by uneven numbers, and that way it always falls right. That's how it is. So if I wanted to keep going with this, where's it? Another one. Then I would want to pull out the same ones, the same place, and then I would use a 6 millimeter jump, no smaller because it will be too small. You don't want to get too big either, because then it doesn't look right either. But then I would just take and, do the next one. Glue them in. I use Hypotube cement.
Now, if you like more dainty and you wanted this one to be kind of like your focal,
then you do
I think we have smaller bezels.
Because these are 18 by 13. This is 25 by 18.
Okay.
So, yeah, I've got them.
I was
so mad because I thought I had them in this. Like this. Same thing, only blue. Only pink, but I didn't. So then I didn't have a big one in blue. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to stagger them. But anyways, but that's how that would go.
I kind of like that myself.
Mm-hmm.
They did wear kind of simpler and more dainty.
Well, yeah, especially like younger women.
Too.
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. I mean, myself, I tend to, when I make stuff, I go big. Mm-hmm. But for myself, I would probably be very content if I want to make a showy piece just to...
But surprisingly...
do this.
I liked it with the smaller.
40 by 30, 25 by 18, 18
by 13.
And then just do beads. See? Let me put the stones in it. You can see. Okay, here's that. And here's this. However it looks good to you, put it in. I didn't glue these in on purpose because I wanted you to see, the possibilities. And then I have rose quartz, because I didn't have the little ones in pink. I could do rose quartz. And the one thing I've noticed about when you use the natural stones like rose quartz, sometimes you have to mess around with them a little bit to get them to go in the mount. So I could use that. Or these are frosted lucite. They're kind of soft. And they don't cost as much. These stones are not, for being plastic, basically, acrylic. Because these are not lucite. They're kind of spendy. These are lucite. But anyway, they're kind of spendy.
We're making our version of paste jewelry.
Yeah, but see, it would be just as pretty as if you just forgot this and just did, like a nice, pretty, neckline. And I wouldn't make it solid beads either. I do like how we normally do. We'll put 2 or 3 on a head pin, then we'll put a little bit of chain and so forth. I get to make the back. And then, if I wanted to be fancier, then I would pull a few out at the bottom here and hang some little tiny drops if I had them. Or I could hang a secondary piece of some sort, like
The little blue one, maybe?
that. I don't know if I do that. Let's look. It looks like kind of like a fish out of water to me.
I was thinking maybe it'd pull out the blue from the other ones, but yeah, you're right.
I mean, this would be pretty too, but it just...
I like it with all the beads, to be honest.
I think it, myself, for my design sense, now I would stop with that. And
and do the beads.
Just do the beads. And, this would be in a crazy kind of way, Regency style too. It's your take on it, It's your take, however you go. Now let's see what it looks like with this blue stuff going on. Now, I didn't have the big flower one. I did have it, but I ran out of them, so can't use that. So I've got...
You could always do a pearl cab.
You could, but they look kind of blow off. So, I mean, for me, I probably just want to do all pearls if I did that. But I did try. I tried so many things last. I tried so hard. Yeah. So.
Well, could you take, like a flat back or something, or like a little rhinestone thing, and put it like right in the middle of the pearl cab, just to give it like a little.
If it's dinged, you'd have to ding it. Like some pearl cabs will have that little ding, so you can put a chaton in the middle of it. It's not going to stay. It'll get picked off. That's the problem with that. Okay, so here's my faux Wedgwood fairy. So maybe I'm going to put that on there. And the reason, too, guys, I went with gold because that was true to the period they usually did gold. But you don't have to. You can do any color you want. You could use gingerbread if that looks good to you. You can use silver if that looks good to you. So here's some silver.
Oh, Claire said she's not a pink person, but she loved that look.
Yeah. I like pink. But I don't.
Too.
I almost never wear it. I don't wear it. But I like it. So I gravitate toward it, but I don't wear it. So, okay, so now I have to use these guys again because, wait, no, I'm lying. Look at that, what a liar I am. Okay, get out of there, you. All right. They're a good fit, you can see, even though they're not glued, you have to kind of get them to come out. Okay, so I have this guy. And then I'll just go up. And it's still, pretty fancy with all that going on. There's a lot of design stuff going on there. So you could just stop there.
That's pretty.
You could just stop here if you wanted to. Or you could take these big ones out and just do the little ones. I mean, there's just any number of ways that you could go. You could go just a little bit more up, and then instead of using chain to close it, you should get some, you could get some narrow velvet ribbon and put, if you want. I mean, however, I was even thinking, boy, I wonder what this will look like if I put some of those, I don't know if I have some here. Yeah, here they are.
What are you looking for? I can grab it for you.
Oops. We're still good. Is these. When I had the class. Remember we made I'm going to destroy this whole thing before we're done.
Whoops.
Now, she just threw it on the floor, so that's not going to help either.
Sorry.
Now, this wouldn't be, Regency. It'd be like you got inspired by Regency, but is that like a Regency? No, that's like mixed media. But like you could do this here instead, these two, and do the little pretty, and then instead of chain, you could do velvet ribbon and tie it. That would be very youthful.
I like the idea
That
of the
would be
velvet
very
ribbon.
youthful. So anyway, oh, you like that? Oh, I'm glad. Claire likes it. It must be good.
She likes the fairies. She likes our fairy cams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have some pretty ones.
And this would be so nice too if you antiqued it a little bit, because there is so much detail in these. It's crazy. Or like antique it a little bit, wipe it off, let it dry, and then go back and paint it. Highlight it with a little bit of color.
I've painted them before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Karen Mansell used to paint them all the time, and they were so pretty.
Mom did one too, I think.
Did she?
She painted one too. We both have.
So with this one, there's one loop almost directly in the middle. You could pull that out and just have one more drop if you want it. Or you can have several, or you could just not do it. Just forget it, you know. But I'll just show you how busy this will look with them going all the way up. And it really will look busy because I don't have enough to go use the same one going all the way. But so I'm going to have to substitute other things. But I'm liking the look of that and all the blues. And then if I had antique this and put just a little color, not a lot, just a little color, that'd be me. That's what I think. That would be my necklace. So then if I put these, you see these don't go at all. These do not look right at all.
No.
But you could see how, you know, maybe it'd give you an idea of how, if I continued cameos all up around, I'd end up with a necklace that kind of makes you think of that one, of all the naturally carved stone, you know, the natural shell cameos that were carved on that necklace that I love. I mean, it just gives me that feeling when I see them all up here. And wouldn't that make a pretty bracelet too? So let's just say she's not in here. Now let's take the swing go. Do you guys do stuff like this when you're making jewelry?
Yes.
You plan around, just throw stuff around, pull it around, and see what you like. So you can go.
Claire says she has so many ideas running through her head.
Oh, she does. She shows us on. I see her ideas all the time.
Blue velvet and pearl chain would be nice. Yeah.
So you could make like a bracelet. And you know what? They wouldn't have to go this way. They could go this way. You could do it like this. You could do it like that. You know, and you don't have to make them go all the way around your wrist and spend like, you know, break the bank getting just components. You know, the bezels are not expensive. They are super not expensive. Some of these bezels were like 50 cents each. But you could pull out the sides of the bezels and put them all like a bracelet, and then just do a chain and come around and hook it, maybe make a little glass drop. Wouldn't that be pretty? And that would be kind of a little bit Regency and feeling. I could see, like, if somebody was going to get dressed up in that style, that they could wear something like that. Or like some little eardrops. These are perfect for eardrops. They're just tiny little
Yeah,
things.
throwing myself in here for a second.
What are you doing?
Okay, so let's go back to this for a second. If I can put it in there. And then if you did pearl for the chain.
Yeah, you could do that. That's pretty. Are these my high school pearls?
I don't know, they were sitting in your bowl.
Yeah, these are my high school.
But we have plenty of pearls.
It's in my high school.
We have
slippers.
vintage pearls.
Yeah, but no, that would be very pretty. Or if you had...
We have cream colored ones too.
If you had some pearls that were like a slate pink tint.
Oh, yeah. We have blue pearls, actually, too.
Deborah, I don't know really how to tell you to set the stones into this. I bought them like this, okay? This is not something I've ever done, just being very honest with you. I'm sure that if I want to sit and mess around, maybe I could figure it out, but maybe not too.
Yeah, these are preset for you, so all the hard work's done.
You know, and they're so inexpensive. It's
Yeah.
like, for me, it's like, why? You know, so I can't really do that for you because it's not my, you know, skill set. But no, I bought them like this. Now, these are simple. You know, you just pull the little ears out and glue them in, you know. So you could go back and look to see how that's done, but that's how... You know,
Claire
so
loves
I'm sorry to disappoint you that way. I wish I knew how, but I don't know, this is probably a little too fussy for me. You see, I don't even see a solder mark on this, so I'm not sure how they got it all attached, because this is just like a thin strip of brass, but it's rounded. So this is brass that's made to work like that. I don't know how to do this.
Yeah, just
Now,
take the hard work out of it.
If you wanted to mess around with it, you could probably figure out a way with wire, but not like this with the brass banding. You have to be a little bit better with metal than I am to do that. It's a fun idea anyway. So if you only have white pearls, you can cut. Yes,
Yeah.
you can, unless they're Haskell pearls and you don't want to do that.
No. But we have, Claire.
Or fresh waters or
we have-
BYs or whatever.
We have cream colored pearls.
Mm-hmm.
And when she said about the tint of like a pink, we have blue pearls. And so they would go really nicely.
Oh, yeah, the check ones, yeah.
With the...
I haven't bought those for a while. I used to have a whole bunch
We
of
have...
them.
There's not a ton
We have those cerulean
in stock.
blue.
But
thing
yeah,
left.
there's one that is like
Persian blue.
like a shiny. And then there's one that's like a matte. And I think the matte would be really pretty against this one because of the wedgwood.
Yeah, you know what? I'll have to take a look and see if I can get some more of those, because they weren't expensive either.
I
which
have
is
some in
always nice.
my own personal stash at home. I still haven't used them. I'm still waiting for the right piece.
You know, and here's another thought too. That's not this, but something else. I had these big. I don't know if I bought these to sell or what, but I bought some. These are 30 millimeter, I think. So I thought, what do I do with that? You know, well, a big stone, of course, that'd be good. And of course, you can pull out the little, ears where you want to. I just put this down in there, and look at that, fit perfect. And that's it. I don't know if you guys can see, but this is a beautiful old shell cameo. Not cameo.
Button.
Button. Duh. Anyway, sorry guys. Beautiful old shell button with some engraving on this. You could put that in there, and then you could take and, I don't know, I'm just playing here. Where are you? Hide those holes or something. Put a little flower in there or something, Set a little stone in the middle, like a little pearl in the middle of that. That'd be pretty. Now,
Oh, that's pretty.
the thing is with this, and I don't know if you can see, it's not true of these. If you wanted to bend these little prongy things, these little loops over a little bit more to, make it fit, you could do that if you want. You have to be careful about doing it so that you don't mark up your back of your brass. So you probably have to tape your pliers or have a nylon jaw one. But yeah. But this one, I think you can see, I got a lot of space on this. Look at. Those are really sticking up.
Yeah.
That's too far. So there's two things I could do. I could put some epoxy sculpt down the bottom of here, and then set this on top of it, and that would bring it up a little. But I'd have to be careful that I didn't put it up high enough that it starts oozing out these. These. That would be good. So I do have that option. I could set these in and turn these into prongs. I could do that.
Or do you have maybe a couple of non-drilled 30 miller bases that you could layer up and then put the button on top?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I do. I don't know. I have to look. I have this too.
That could be another option.
See, look, those fit in there too. You can't see it because it's over here. Yeah, those fit in too. The brass things. But yeah, you'd have to bend them down because it's just... Now here's a thought. Now I wouldn't use this one because it's such a pretty button. But you could put this in to build it up. There's other 30 millimeter buttons or whatever. You could build it up and then put that in there. And then you wouldn't have to prong over so much. And getting it up into the design. But anyway, there's an idea with that too. So hopefully give me a few ideas about Regency style. This is the collet type thing. I'm not real sure what's going to be next, but I think the next one we do is going to have to be on a Friday because Lauren has to go somewhere next Saturday.
I do.
So we'll meet next Friday, this Friday coming up at 5:30, and I'll remind you, okay? Then we'll be on for about an hour and 15 minutes with a new project in the Regency type style, and we're going to have a ball with it. So I hope that you guys got some ideas, and never be afraid to take this thought, especially the ones that have so many parts in them, like, oh man, that's going to cost a lot of money to make it like that. Go ahead and dumb it down. It's all right. It's your jewelry. You're the designer. It's like I always tell you. But if you wanted it to be kind of true to Regency style, then this would be done this way. If you wanted to. But still wouldn't be reproduction because they didn't use plastic back then. Resin and plastic, they didn't use that. So these are German. And they are kind of expensive for some reason. They're kind of German. These are not. These are Chinese. Always have been. Did you know that? Most of the resin stuff is Chinese. It always has been. That's their thing. So anyway, I'm going to get these out of here. See, they fit up pretty good, Everything came out by him. Okay, now what I'm going to do, you could probably do that too, Sherry. Okay. Now, I'm going to roll back to the beginning because I didn't really pay a lot of attention. And I'll answer some questions because I didn't notice a lot of what you guys were saying. Because I was trying to stay on track. Okay, here's a slippery emerald. Okay, we got to there. So here's people coming, hand pink waving. Yeah, Karen Gill.
Yeah, she was just waving.
Deborah Fordrick, the book. It's interesting, but unfamiliar. It's unfamiliar because I don't think too many people have it. It's called Georgian Jewelry by Jenny Reddington Dawes, and you can buy it at Amazon.
Yeah, I reshowed the cover after she asked that.
I can't remember what I paid. I think $45, so it's kind of expensive. But then my book was too, so got a lot of information. I think it's worth it to me. Let's see what else we got. She likes the class by Love Wedgwood, Green. A lot of just comments. Watch chain. It was in a box lot. Yeah. Best stuff, my wedding ring that I'm wearing came out of a box lot. It's pretty pitiful, but I don't have to worry about it gets lost. It's not worth anything. But it is cool. Let's see. What else we got? Any questions on this one? I'm looking
I don't think
for.
so. I think it was mainly just comments.
Love all these
I think we covered them.
Age. Do you wear them? Oh, yes, I do wear them. They're great with jeans. I wear them with jeans. Oh, yeah, I wear them. We get dressed up, though, a couple times a week here, so to go to our meetings. So.
And thank you, Karen.
Yeah.
You say that.
Hey, there's Deb Maurer. How you doing? Thanks for coming. Do they come with? Yes,
yeah, we
come
answered
with stone
that.
set. Yeah, Claire. She's not a pink person. I remember that.
Yep.
Got behind. Had to get more coffee.
That one you answered.
Yeah, I answered the collet thing.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got to sit on the class too, Claire. I've been missing you once in a while, but I know you're a busy, busy girl. Hey, there's Lisa Marie. Beansy. There
That's
she
all of
is. That's it.
Right,
Okay,
yep.
well, we had a lively group. Looks like we had, and Andrea was here too. I hope I caught everything. Hello, everybody. So glad you're here, whether you spoke or not. It's just delightful to have you. And I think I'm going to take a little rest because I'm tired. I'm real tired lately. And then after that, I'm going to get up and finish my necklace. And you'll just have to wait and see what I do. Okay? All right.
What will it become?
What will it be? Okay, so we'll have to find out about that. Probably be nothing like that. That's me. Exit stage left. Okay. Thank you so much for coming, guys. This was a good session. I think you got some ideas about stuff, learned some things. There are a lot of short videos. Well, not short, but like 15, 20 minutes, on Regency and Jane. A lot of stuff on Jane Austen, and that will give you good ideas. So Jane Austen herself was kind of plain. She was kind of plain.
She was.
Yeah, but her characters weren't.
No.
I was watching.
Not in the least.
I was watching Pride and Prejudice again last night with Colin Firth, and they had some real fancy jewelry on in that one. But anyways, okay, all right, guys, love you. Thanks for coming out today, and I'll try to post some links and all that where you can find the stuff on the site. And don't forget, you can still use 15 for all. That's the code that's on the little pink sliding bar at the top of the website. You can get that, put that in a coupon box. You get 15% off anything you buy, and there is no minimum, which I almost never do that, but I've had this sale for about 3 weeks, and this is the last week. So if you want to get in on that, just try a few things. It's a great time to do. You know.
Real quick, Sherry wants to know, okay, with the contest, is it one design
No, you
or
can
picture
do a
per
whole
person
bunch, as many as
for
you
entry?
feel like. As many
You'll get
as
one
you like.
entry,
Hey, Joanne.
right? It's just one entry per person.
No, I'm going to count them all. So, you know, if you want to put them all in there, then you do it. You know, people worked harder. I guess they got more shots.
Okay, so if you make 4 pieces and post all 4, you get 4 entries.
Yeah.
Okay. So there you go,
I'm
guys.
going to do that, and that's not unfair because those people worked a little harder at it. So yeah, they get their shot at it, and whoever they'll win it. Ooh, Claire just put in an order.
So you get 1 entry per piece that you make.
Yeah,
and post.
every piece that you make and you post into the hashtag #BeSueJane, that's a shot at winning the $100 free shopping pass.
And you have till the 20th.
Right.
To post those.
Right. So, have at it, guys.
Couple more weeks.
And it's your interpretation of it. Nobody's going to say, that's not it, and take it down. No way. No way. I am asking that you please use my stuff, especially for your focals. I don't care about jump rings and clasp and head pins and wire and stuff like that, but the stuff that shows, I would prefer it's my stuff because I need to use those pictures going down the road. I mean, you guys help me out a lot with your pictures. So that's why I do gifties.
Yeah,
and
she
giveaways.
uses them in the newsletters.
I use away, and then when you post, if you have a shop, please remind me the name of it because I may not remember. A lot of you guys here I do remember, but not all. So, because then I don't put the URL in, but I do call out what the shop is. So, yeah, be sure that's on there because you'll get a plug. You get one of those plugs, okay? So, face red heart shape. That's cute. Okay, guys, I said I was leaving, so I'm leaving now. If you have any more questions, don't hesitate to get hold of me. I'm here for you. Don't ever think you're bugging me. You're not.
You can always put
if
your
I'm able to
questions.
if I'm able to answer at that minute and I see you, I'll answer you. If not, you can feel free to call here if you need to know quick. I don't care. We'll pick the phone
But
up.
she always pays attention too of the videos, so you can always post your question underneath the video once it's posted.
There because I go back for at least a week watching.
Because then we know what the topic is and everything.
Yeah.
We'll already kind of have a feel.
You're welcome, Miss Claire. You're welcome. All right, you guys, we're going to take off before I lose my voice.